Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM 89.0, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
And we're gonna talk about Extreme Rules, which is this weekend, or Monday, if you live in New Zealand. There's 10 matches on the card, nothing slated for the pre-show yet, but we can take our best guesses as to what matches will end up there. And in fact, let's start off with one that will probably end up there, and that is the Cruiserweight Championship between Drew Gulak and Tony Nese.
This will be an interesting match. In the end, though, Gulak should retain because he just won the title, like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it'd be a little weird to give it to Gulak and then immediately hand it back to Nese. You know, not the first time that something like that's happened. It would just be a little bit weird, especially on 205.
Yeah, Neville and Akira Zawa comes to mind.
Yeah, I think they realized they made a mistake, but we'll see. If Gulak is to retain here, I'm interested to see where his feud goes next with the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, because I've had a couple guys pop up on 205 lately that would be interesting to get some good old title matches with. But let's look at the card a bit more holistically. Let's look at it all. And the only match without a championship or a stipulation is this little old match that only got set up last week. Aleister Black versus the Man Who Knocks.
Oh, that was decided on SmackDown, apparently. The Man Who Knocks is apparently Cesaro.
Not Walter White. Yes, Cesaro has changed from being James Bond into much more of a Bond villain. The promo back and forth was a bit of an interesting one. Both of them were a little stilted in their delivery, and it came across a little action movie-y. That is not a word. A little bit like an action movie. That's the phrasing I'm looking for. But all that is important is that we will see Black versus Cesaro at Extreme Rules.
This is like Black's first singles match since they split him and Ricochet apart. There's no way he loses.
I think I'm with you on this. Black waited forever for someone to come knocking at his door, and he finally gets him. And I know Cesaro has been getting a little bit of a push himself, but as you say, there's pretty much a near zero chance that Aleister Black takes the L here.
Yeah. But I do think that it's interesting they went this route when everybody and their mother was expecting Randy Orton to be the one that answered the door.
I've heard murmurs that Randy Orton might not be 100%, so I don't know if this was a last-minute switcheroony. I don't quite know. And I guess we don't quite know what's happening with SmackDown long-term at the moment either. So we've got to figure out where we're going there, because Cesaro, I believe, still technically a Raw superstar as well.
Yeah, well, they better start figuring it out. They've got 3 months before they hit Raw or hit Fox.
They gotta just, pick up those sticks and figure it out, plan out where they're going, have a plan, SummerSlam, Fox, hit all the main things, and at least know the rough points between A and B. But I still don't know when Eric Bischoff's gonna pop in. I think last week I was saying after Extreme Rules, but I'm also hearing maybe even a little bit later than that. And I think it's starting to get a little bit more worrying the longer we wait for that.
Oh, it is what it is. Outside commitments are outside commitments.
I'm not going to rock up to his door and start whipping him until he shows up to SmackDown, but hey. And then we've got, I'm just going to start at the bottom now, the Raw Tag Team Championship match, the Revival. That's who's champion. Oh, wow. Defending against the Usos.
Well, you finally get that match.
It's only been building since you saw him.
Yeah, it's been building for a while, and then the Usos inexplicably went and faced the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, beat them, and then never got a title match.
Don't question it.
And then they've been floating around with the Revival, and the Revival won the tag team titles. And now we finally get a title match between the two. I do not see the Usos winning here.
Okay.
As much as I like them, and as much as I don't care that much about the Revival, largely because they don't give me a reason to, I see the Revival retaining.
You don't see Hawkins and Ryder showing up, sliding in, and winning the belts again?
Nope, don't see that.
Damn it.
I don't see them leaving catering.
Maybe if there's a 24/7 segment. And I guess, sticking on the tag team train, honestly, my opinion, the better of the tag team championship matches will be a triple threat tag team match. Daniel Bryan and Rowan defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the New Day and Heavy Machinery.
This should be fun. All three of these teams can go. Ultimately, I'm really hopeful that Heavy Machinery wins. But any of these tag teams could actually win the match. It wouldn't surprise me.
I think Heavy Machinery are going to become my new Iconics. Whenever they're in whenever there's in a championship match, I'm going to root for them against all odds. Did it last show, gonna do it again. Heavy Machinery, they will walk out with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And everyone will celebrate. We'll go to the barbecue house and then to the gym. I couldn't think of where serves you a steak. It's called a steakhouse. You know, it comes to your mind after you attempt to make the joke. And we'll have new champs.
I want to see them steal a move from the Revival and bash the YOLO titles on the actual titles.
Those titles were good fun. But let's continue on through. We got a couple more title matches. What can we get to? We can get to the United States Championship. Ricochet defending against AJ Styles with the threat of the club still floating around.
Yeah, this should be a fun match. If we can really see them really go full at it, this will be match of the night. Mm-hmm. Even with the threat of interference. I expect Ricochet to somehow, someway, squeak out with a win. Mm-hmm. And then probably get beat down for his troubles.
Hashtag beat up Ricochet? No?
Maybe it'll inspire John Cena to return.
Yeah, I don't see this being the end of the feud either. So, stick around, folks, I guess. And then also the Intercontinental. Nope. Intercontinental not on the card. Okay, we'll cry a single tear in Finn Balor. And we will instead move on to the no holds barred tag team match. Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre going up against the Big Dog and the Undertaker.
I'm sorry, but Drew has his Shane's daddy's theme song of winning this match.
Yeah. You promised me he'd win last time, and then he didn't win, and I was like, okay, well, maybe he'll win next time. And then they put the Undertaker on the other team, and it's like, no, he's not winning.
And now Shane has a third feud.
Shane just has a million feuds.
Feud master, apparently.
And Kevin Owens pointed that out on SmackDown in quite a talked about segment. Basically just berating him for 10 odd minutes. And
at least he was smart enough to bring other mics.
Well, yeah. If your mic gets cut, you just steal the ring announcer's mic. If the ring announcer's mic gets cut, you start talking to the commentary headset. It's genius from Kevin. But yeah, this is like the 15th feud for Shane McMahon. And I'm sure Kevin Owens was meant to be resonating with everyone when he said what he said. But if you're looking at the no holds barred tag team match, and then you go, well, The Miz hates him, well, Kevin Owens hates him, and it's no holds barred, and The Undertaker is on the other team, there is no chance. There is no Ziggler chance. There is zero. And that leads us into another hardcore type stipulation match. The last man standing match between Braun Strowman and old Bobby Lashley.
I'm interested. I just don't know what I think.
Yep.
I've heard so many things surrounding the individuals in this match. I've heard Braun's really injured, and that's why they did what they did. I've heard they want to take Braun back to his roots to before they screwed up with him. I have no idea. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with option C. And no, I'm not talking about Austin Aries. I'm going with Bobby Lashley wins.
That's a bold pick. If you'd asked me last week, Braun Strowman smashes through the thing, I'm like, he's got it. Easy Braun Strowman win. You ask me this week, after I see Bobby Lashley take out Rey Mysterio, I'm less convinced on the easy Braun Strowman win. And I'm starting to toss it up and not entirely sure where to go, much like yourself. I think if the Braun Strowman is injured piece is correct, then clearly Bobby Lashley will win, because whoever comes out of this is going to go somewhere, I think. I don't think this is going to be, the winner sort of fades away, just the way it seems to be set up. Whoever's coming out of this is going to be the monster going forward, or the dominant strong man.
Yeah, I really don't know. Anything is possible. Nothing will surprise me. For all I know, they may decide, well, we have a big man that we are paying not to work right now. Let's bring him back. And that could factor in.
That would surprise me. Assuming we're talking about the same big man.
Yeah, anything would surprise me if they decided, we're going to use Luke Harper now.
Yeah. See, it was the same. We're on it. Yeah, I don't know. Luke Harper seems content to sit it out.
I'm not so sure he's content to sit it out. I just think WWE just decided they don't want to use him because he doesn't want to be there. So they're just going to let him ride his contract out, and they tacked on a bunch of time for injury.
Yeah.
It's basically the Rey Mysterio situation over again.
Yeah. You can't argue against it in terms of its effectiveness. You can definitely in terms of its ethics and everything. But if it's going to keep Luke Harper sitting on the bench until past, I don't know what month it is, October, whenever the TV debut is of AEW and further, then WWE's happy. I don't think they care about the salary and throwing it away just to keep someone on the bench. But we're looking at this Extreme Rules card. I'd also like to point out there is an absence of a certain... where am I going to go with this? A certain children's show host.
Well, we could always get a segment with the Firehouse, Funhouse during the show.
I don't know.
We could also see him show up after the main event.
I've
that
seen
may be
it.
something you might not want to talk about, Rhett.
Okay, I'll put it away. I'll fold Bray Wyatt back up, I'll put him in my back pocket, and I'll bring him out later on in the show. And since you've made me do that, I'm just going to go to song. No, I've decided it. We're going to go to song, and it is the Extreme Rules theme. Back with the Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM 89.0 NPR ArrowFM. I'm Grady, he's Josh, and we still have a bunch of matches from Extreme Rules. Let's kick off with the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Not only is Bayley usually the underdog, but she's kind of got the odds stacked against her this week.
Yeah, Nikki's taking full advantage of this opportunity. And having a lot of fun, too.
Yeah. When it's a case of, I believe the winner chooses the stipulation, it's like, okay, cool. Maybe they'll choose some hardcore. Oh no, they just chose handicap match, huh? Why does nobody else do this?
Not just that. It was Nikki that won the and decided to insert herself into the match.
Yeah.
Which we know is going to cause a rift with Alexa, which probably will then result in Nikki being a crazy face.
I'm looking at this, right? Handicap match for the title. Is this basically not just a triple threat where two of the people have agreed to probably not hit each other that much?
Until they're going for title. Until they're going for the pins, probably.
It seems like it's just a triple threat with a vague alliance.
Nikki is convinced that if they win, Alexa will let her be co-champion.
Okay.
So that should be fun. As much as I would love to see Nikki with the title, it's not time yet. And we don't need to see Alexa Bliss with the championship again right now. So I'm going to go with Bayley somehow overcomes the odds.
My favorite outcome is Nikki Cross with the belt. But if that's not going to happen, I definitely see that the Bliss Cross thing is going to have to explode soon. So I could see some sort of outcome where Nikki sort of breaks up a pinfall of Alexa's, and then you sort of get confused, and then Alexa's staring down Nikki or something, and then Bayley capitalizes with a roll-up. Some sort of capitalizing on tensions between the two of them. And that way, Bayley gets her win. Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross is the feud going forward on that side.
Yeah, I think you've got it backwards. I don't think it would be a Nikki that would be accidentally breaking up the pinfall. I think it would be that Nikki's going for the pinfall, and Alexa breaks it up because she wants to be the one that pins Bayley.
It's true,
and that's what causes the dynamite that Bayley has mentioned many times, being that Alexa's a backstabber.
Well, write it down in a book, close it up, bind it, and that is the way we will be going forward. But we also have a WWE Championship match between Kofi Kingston of the New Day and Samoa Joe.
This will be an interesting match because not so much the match itself, but what it could mean going forward in storylines.
Man, you're so cryptic sometimes.
Well, let's think about this for a second. What is Samoa Joe's finisher?
Coquina Clutch.
Which is a glorified sleeper.
Yes.
What happens when a person is put to sleep and there's a person with a briefcase that can claim the championship?
They bring out a blanket and put it over the sleeping person.
I think that might be the funniest thing we've ever said on the show. No, I could definitely see Kofi retaining the title in the match, then Joe going ballistic, putting Kofi to sleep, and then Mr. Beast in the Bank becomes Mr. WWE Champion.
Okay.
Much to many of our chagrin.
I don't know. I don't know about Mr. Lesnar and what his plans are. I could see Mr. Lesnar staying away until the Fox debut. I could see him cashing in on the Fox debut. In terms of situations you could put Kofi in where he would be the most vulnerable, yes, a match with Samoa Joe and then the aftermath with Joe putting him to sleep probably is number one on the list of things you don't want to happen. So yeah, I can definitely see it, but that sounds like you're writing off Samoa Joe winning this match?
I wrote him off the moment they announced it.
That's fair. That's fair. Does he have more or less chance than McMahon and McIntyre?
Same.
Fair.
They haven't given me a reason to believe that he's going to win a championship, ever.
Oh, a single tear in Samoa Joe. And then we have our main event, our last chance, winners take all, mixed tag team Extreme Rules match for both the WWE Universal Championship and the Raw Women's Championship, with Universal Champion Seth Rollins and Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch taking on Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. Don't make me repeat that.
This is going to be one of those matches where we're not quite sure what they want to do, but we're pretty sure what they want to do at the same time.
I'm pretty sure Corbin and Evans aren't winning.
I'm pretty sure on that too, but if Lesnar walks out with the Universal title, I could honestly see them pulling the stunt of having Corbin and Lacey win the title, only for Lesnar to come out and rain on Corbin's parade.
It would put him as a face pretty quickly. Because I'm looking at this match, and I'm going with Seth and Becky, honestly, like, two of the most liked people. And then you got Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, which fans just can't stand. And so, if Lesnar happened to cash in on Corbin, he's going to get a whole lot of cheers, if that's the reaction they want to go with.
So yeah, it's one of those situations where we're pretty sure we're going to get one way, but there is an outside chance that we get something we don't expect.
Oh, what's this? There's a rumbling in my back pocket. Oh, it says the words Bray Wyatt on it.
Yeah, the more likely outcome is that that Rollins and Becky retain their titles, and then suddenly Bray Wyatt shows up and takes out Seth, staking his claim that he wants the title.
Okay. So pretty bold to put Bray against Seth immediately upon returning into the main event for the Universal Championship.
Yeah, it could be bold, or it could be an instrument to take the title off of Seth.
Oh, you're rating Bray Wyatt to win.
Oh no. I'm going off the fact that Heyman said, "Watch on Sunday." It's a spoiler. So something's going on with that briefcase. Whether it's with Kofi or with Seth. I'm 95% sure one of them is not walking out with their title. And I'm 100% sure that it's not going to be the one people that are in the match with them to begin with.
Okay. I really don't know. With Heyman, I guess now it's going to get even harder to figure out stuff like that, because he could be talking about his in-character role with Lesnar implying a cash-in, or he could be talking about the role that he refuses to acknowledge on screen, and he could just mean, like, something's going to happen on the Raw side of things. Or he could just be completely messing with us, because he's Heyman.
Well, that kind of went over that in the promo. It's like, I have not... Anytime I've said that there's a spoiler alert, it's happened. So I've got credibility.
Oh, that... Nah,
but
nothing's
I could
happening.
be messing with you. You never know.
He's messing with me.
So, I'm going to err that to expect a Lesnar cash-in so that when it doesn't happen, I'll be happy.
That's a good way to look at it. I'm going to take the other side of the fence. I'm going to say Heyman's lying, or just completely lying to everybody. That ain't happening. No Lesnar cash-in. Nope. And then when it does happen, I get mad.
Which is why, which will make you part of the internet and have the wrestling community, and your tears will be powering Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. But I won't get on Twitter and go da 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 with my anger. I will keep it pent up inside and then unleash it on the radio in 5 days after it happens. It's fine. Alright, any last thoughts about Extreme Rules before we run out of time?
I think it'll be a good show. It's definitely set up to be a pretty good show.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, that is all we have time for. It's been great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio, and we'll see you next week with the results from Extreme Rules.